The Indian government has formed a committee headed by former President Ram Nath Kovind to explore the possibility of a one nation, one election. The move comes a day after reports said that the government may introduce a one nation, one election bill in the special session of Parliament scheduled to be held from September 18th to 22nd. Reports said that a notification on the members of the panel will be issued later. Reports also suggested that the setting up of the panel opens up the possibility of Lok Sabha polls being advanced so that they could be held with a string of assembly elections to be held later this year. Now let's understand what exactly is one nation, one election. The idea of one nation, one election refers to holding simultaneous elections across the country. This means that elections for the Lok Sabha and all state assemblies across India will be held simultaneously, with voting presumably taking place around the same time. Currently, elections to the state assemblies and the Lok Sabha are held separately after the 5-year term of the incumbent government ends or if it is dissolved due to various reasons. One of the major reasons to hold simultaneous elections would be to cut down on the costs involved in separate elections. As per reports, a whopping 60,000 crore rupees was spent on the 2019 Lok Sabha elections. The amount includes what was spent by the political parties fighting the polls and the spending by the Election Commission of India or ECI to hold the elections. Further, supporters of simultaneous polls argue that it will increase efficiency in the administrative setup throughout the country since it slows down considerably during the polling. Normal administrative duties are affected by elections as officials engage in polling duties. It will also help ensure continuity in the policies and programs of the central and state governments. Currently, the Model Code of Conduct is imposed whenever elections are set to take place, putting a ban on the launch of new projects for public welfare for that period. Further, the Law Commission said that holding simultaneous elections will boost voter turnout as it will be more convenient for them to cast votes at once. Holding simultaneous elections would require constitutional amendments to sync up the terms of the state legislative assemblies with that of the Lok Sabha. Further, the Representation of the People Act and other parliamentary procedures will also need to be amended. The major fear of regional parties over simultaneous elections is that they would not be able to raise their local issues strongly as national issues take center stage. They would also be unable to compete with national parties in terms of election expenditure and election strategy. Further, a study conducted by IDFC Institute in 2015 found that there is a 77% chance that voters will choose the same winning political party or alliance in the State Assembly and the Lok Sabha if elections are held simultaneously. However, if elections are held months apart, only 61% of the voters would choose the same party. There are also fears of challenges posed by simultaneous elections to the country's federalism. Simultaneous elections for the state assemblies and the Lok Sabha were the norm in India till 1967. However, things changed when some legislative assemblies were dissolved prematurely in 1968 and 1969 and the Lok Sabha in 1970. A decade later, the Election Commission in 1983 proposed to bring back simultaneous elections. However, in its annual report, the Commission said that the then government decided against it. The 1999 Law Commission report also pushed for simultaneous elections. The recent push came from the Bharatiya Janata Party, which said in its election manifesto for the 2014 Lok Sabha election that it will seek to evolve a method of holding the elections simultaneously to ensure stability for state governments. The idea was floated once again by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in 2016. The following year, the Niti Aayog prepared a working paper on the proposal for simultaneous elections. In 2018, the Law Commission said that at least 5 constitutional recommendations would be required to hold simultaneous polls. Merely a month after he assumed office for the second time in 2019, PM Modi met with the heads of various political parties to discuss simultaneous elections. Several opposition parties including the Congress, Trinamool Congress, Bahujan Samaj Party, Samajwadi Party and Dravida Munnetra Karagam stayed away from the meeting, while the Aam Aadmi Party, Telugu Desam Party and Bharat Rashtra Samiti sent representatives. In 2022, the then Chief Election Commissioner Sushil Chandra said that the Election Commission is fully prepared and capable of conducting simultaneous elections. However, he said that to implement the idea, there needs to be a change in the constitution and it should be decided in the parliament. In December of 2022, the Law Commission sought the opinion of stakeholders including national political parties, the Election Commission of India, bureaucrats, academicians and experts on the proposal to hold simultaneous elections in the country. Ever since Prime Minister Narendra Modi started pushing for one nation, one election, opposition leaders have opposed the idea, calling it unconstitutional and against the principles of democracy. In January of 2023, AAP alleged that the BJP was proposing simultaneous elections to replace the parliamentary form of government with a presidential system. Other parties who are part of the India bloc, including the Rashtriya Janata Dal, the Janata Dal United and the Samajwadi Party, also opposed the idea.
Subscribe to One India channel and never miss an update.